Well, happy Thanksgiving to you. Happy holidays to you. And so much more. Shout out to all of those of you that are following me, have been following me on this journey. Today we want to talk about the power behind admission and confession. If I was Catholic, I would say, when was the last time you've been to confession? Some of y'all probably would say 10 years, 5 years, 10 months. We tend to put the internal spiritual component on the back burner to chase more external objects of our affection. There's an old biblical principle that says, set your affection on things above. Part of that is admission and confession. Welcome to the Coach's Corner. Thank you so very much for joining us on this special Thanksgiving, and we appreciate all that you have been to us by listening. We haven't heard your comments much. Many of you have forgotten that we have that fan page right there on Facebook called The Coach's Corner on SIBN Radio. So I want you to do me a favor. Support my team by visiting that page and liking that page and leaving some things that you want to share with us. One of the things that I have found out about the online community is that we have to build momentum. Everybody does not comment because we're such in an absorption pace, soaking up all the places we can visit online and soaking, you know what I'm saying? So you have to stop and train yourself to be able to say, you know what, this guy, this network, they've been there for me. I've learned some more. I even have a quote I want to share with them because they probably could use this. So, you know what I'm saying? So, we want to hear from you. And that's not being slight, you know what I'm saying? We want to develop a relationship with you. We don't want this to be, one-sided here, And so far, other than you following me right here on Spreaker, it's one-sided. And that's not fair to you, and definitely that's not fair to the network because the online community is an integrated community. And so we want to integrate your input. We value your input and your opinion. So for what it's worth, from my heart to yours, let's talk. Let's hear from you. Okay? It would be a crying shame not to, because you have some valuable things to offer. And so the power behind admission and confession. And I'm just sharing straight off my heart. Admission. We can't change anything if change is to be. Surely it's up to me, because I must first admit not only the need for change, but I must admit that I am standing in the way of my own change. Yes, I admit that I'm standing as a stop sign to the places that I deemed that I needed to go. And while I may need money and other resources, as it were, to build and repair the bridges of my changing environment, I felt that right there. I still admit that the greatest barrier to my transition, the greatest hindrance to my productivity, is not them, him, and her, But it's me, O Lord, standing at the need and in the need of prayer. I felt that right there. You know what I'm saying? It's me. It's me. It's me, O Lord, standing in the need of prayer. Not my mother, not my brother, not my sister, O Lord. But it's me. Standing in the need of an admission. One scripture says, confess your faults one to another. Well, you got to explain that, because some folk, they'll run and tell everything that they ever did and find out they'd be so far outcast and rejected, they wouldn't even know you got it, right? But admission. What is the quality of your admission? What is the quality of it? In other words, if you go to court for a ticket that you feel is unfair, but the police says is fair, you could admit something other than guilt. I felt that right there. See, you thought I was going to talk about admitting something wrong all the time, but it's not always about what we've done wrong. Sometimes it's what we can do better. When you're always thinking about what you have done wrong, that indicates to you right there that there's still some victim juice left in you. I felt that right there. I'm feeling a lot of things on this Thanksgiving Day. You always, when you get into a conversation with somebody that there's a challenge going on, and all you can think about is that they think that they're saying that you're wrong about this, even just listening to this radio show, and you think that I'm talking about admitting something wrong. But think about when you go to court, there's an option. There's a guilty option, admission of guilt. There's an admission of not guilty. And there's a habeas corpus, if I'm correct. I don't have any attorneys in the studio today. I believe that's correct. If not, there's a no contest, maybe. Sorry. No contest. No contesto. I don't know. No Spanish. But there's 3 levels of the admission. I feel that right there. That's good, Coach. I had to pat my own self on the back because I ain't heard from y'all. Is that good? There's 3 levels. What is the quality and the levels of your admission? At least admission keeps you in the game. But you try to take that ticket and chunk it out the window, or get to the procedure and act disrespectful, or ignore it. That's what we're good at. We're good at ignoring things. Don't they know what I do? We're good at reminding people what we do for them so that we don't have to admit anything. Well, it doesn't mean that you're guilty. Again, it could have some extenuating circumstances that allowed such an instance to occur. Come on, no one's trying to indict you. Can you get beyond the criminal proceedings? We're talking about getting things out of your spirit to get something into your spirit. That's what admission is to me on this Thanksgiving Day and in this holiday season and beyond this holiday season. The admission that we're talking about is to get things out of you to get something into you. And the problem is you don't empty yourself, and we're not emptying ourselves of trash that we pick up along the way. Incidental negativities picked up along the way from the synergies and the energies, and I dare say the spirits of those that we intermingle with and laugh and talk and shake hands with and go out and drink with and eat with and sleep with. I might just add that on in there right there and married to and dating, incidental spirits that we pick up that were hiding in the booth in the back, in the crack of my past from a generation or two or three ago that has nothing to do with Tom, Dick, or Harry, no pun intended, but was hiding in the back until the right perfect brewing of circumstances and situations which created an occurrence or an instance of circumstances unbeknownst to me, because I haven't been aware of my spiritual condition. I know that I got it together. Well, it doesn't change the fact that now you're standing in the court of life and there needs to be a level of admission, because someone has to be responsible here. That's the problem that we have right there. The reason why admission and the quality of it, or one or two or three levels, as I've explained, is significant is because someone has to be responsible to move this ship to the next set of waters. No admission, no responsibility, no movement, no smooth transition, no growth. I wish we could come and have, let's reason together and talk. And in our talking and in our conversating, there's a level of admission. And it doesn't mean that you are saying you are guilty. Please, my God, grow up. But if you are guilty, then so what? The room is full of potentially guilty people. Some people are so afraid to admit guilt that it pains me to understand why, when we are all stained with the same blood. You know why? In hiding my guilt, and I project that outward, I feel that I'm safe from criticism. But I'm sorry to say, it's all there hanging out. Like somebody, when they went to get gas, they were such in a hurry that they left the gas cap off. Yeah, man. Admit whatever you need to admit. Man, I admit this need to change. That's an admission. Man, I admit we need another way in or another way out. That's an admission. We're not talking about just you admitting that you're guilty. But if you are guilty, don't make a big deal out of it. Hit the reset button. Accept responsibility for whatever it is that you contributed to the situation. And that's another thing. A lot of folks, admission keeps you in the game. But when you fail to admit something, what it does is says, I'm not even in this. Are you kidding me? You are knee deep in this. And so we talk about confession now. That's more personal. That's more personal. Confession. Confession, confession, confession. What are you willing to share? Maybe admission was possible and plausible because you were between a Twix, between here and there, and you couldn't move unless. But confession is more intentional. Confession is more spiritual. Confession is more integral, personally speaking. Yeah, man, I must confess. I got some issues and I'm working on that. Man, I must confess I'm not feeling strong right now. I'm feeling really lonely. I confess that I need to have your agreement that I will be able to bounce back after that death. I confess, man, I'm not doing too good. See, that confession is more intentional, more personal. or spiritual. But you know what? We need them both.